Let's get started with our first news. Conor McGregor made quite the scene last night at the BKFC press conference when he directly confronted Mike Perry. The moment immediately went viral, with fans buzzing about the intensity and drama on display. Standing in front of the cameras, McGregor didn't hold back at all. He pointed at Perry and said, "Yeah, you're welcome back because I welcomed you back. October 11th is your date, and you'll dance for me, boy." He made it clear that this wasn't just another fight on the calendar. This was a command performance for McGregor's own entertainment. "You'll dance for the owner," he added, staking his claim as the real shot caller of the event. And he didn't stop there. He leaned in with that trademark McGregor swagger, locking eyes with Perry in front of a raucous crowd and all the media flashes going off. "Then we can talk, but your date is October 11th. The tone was unmistakable. This wasn't a negotiation. It was an order. The tension was electric in the room as McGregor set the stage for what he clearly sees as a test, a kind of gladiatorial audition to earn his respect. He then amped things up even further with a tease that sent fans into overdrive. "Michael Perry, the return of platinum," he declared, hyping up the BKFC star and acknowledging the raw, violent appeal that Perry brings to the bare-knuckle ring. But McGregor had more in store. He dropped what he called a hell of an announcement about Perry's next opponent, promising something huge that would rock the sport. He didn't reveal the name outright, but made it clear this was no ordinary matchup. "One of the baddest men to ever grace the Ultimate Fighting Championship comes to bare knuckle," he said. The crowd roared at the idea, imagining which former UFC superstar might make the brutal leap to BKFC. McGregor's words were designed to stir the pot, to get everyone guessing and salivating over the possibilities. And he wasn't done hyping it up for maximum drama. "He's going to throw down with you in front of me for my viewing pleasure," McGregor growled, underscoring the idea that this was all being orchestrated for his own personal entertainment. He framed it like a Roman emperor choosing who would fight for his amusement in the arena. Finally, he finished with the ultimate challenge, one that perfectly captured McGregor's over-the-top alpha persona. "Then I'll decide if you're worthy." It wasn't just about winning or losing. For McGregor, it was about earning his respect, proving yourself in the most primal way possible. The whole scene was vintage McGregor, brash, commanding, confrontational, and undeniably entertaining. It instantly set social media ablaze, with fans dissecting every word and speculating wildly about who this baddest man opponent might be. BKFC couldn't have asked for better promotion, and now all eyes are on October 11th to see if Mike Perry can live up to the hype and dance for the owner himself. Moving on to the second news, a user on X leaked some alleged DMs with Jon Jones that immediately set social media on fire. According to the user, Jon DM'd him after he posted a mocking GIF under one of Jon's recent rants. Jon opened the exchange by saying, "How low is your IQ really? You're probably in some trailer park somewhere. Why follow me just to say you don't care what I talk about?" The user fired right back with brutal accusations, saying, "You beat your wife, cheat on your wife, cheat in the UFC, deadbeat dad and husband." Jon responded smugly, "My wife is out getting her hair and nails done. My kids are playing on their side of the mansion. What are you up to today?" The user didn't back down. "You Gulu your name and all you see is garbage. Your kids are scared of you. Your wife hates you." Jon shrugged it off. "That's what you would like to believe." The insults kept escalating. The user called him a drug cheat loser, cheater, deadbeat dad, and trash husband. Jon clapped back with, "The truth is, I'm a black 6'4" professional athlete, multi-millionaire living the American dream. Are you living the American dream?" The user mocked him. "Just because you have money doesn't mean you aren't a loser," Jon taunted. "Do you even own a car?" The user fired back. "Who doesn't own a car in 2025? Who was the naked girl in the car?" Jon admitted, "Yes, I'm a terrible human being, but I'm incredibly wealthy and influential. People follow me from all around the world." The user jabbed, "Remember that night, or were you too high on coke again?" Jon shot back, "That was your girlfriend?" The user demanded, "Answer the question, pal." Jon twisted the knife. "How can a man do all that and still become so much more successful than you?" Didn't stop there. The user mocked, "What does she think about that?" Jon pressed, "How can a man do all that and still end up more successful than you? You must be a true loser." The user called him truly stupid and told him to lay off the bud. Jon coolly replied, "I'm a terrible human being, I do drugs, but the whole world knows my name and no one knows yours. You have zero impact on society." The insults got nastier. The user said, "Adolfer looks like an angel next to you. Have fun beating your wife while your kids hide in the closet." Jon dismissed him. "I'm a bad person, but you are no one." The user taunted. 40-year-old man typed this. How many times have you been jailed? Jon shot back. Did you hide in the closet? The user mocked him for hiding under the octagon. Jon bragged, I've been to jail so many times, but I've still got a better life than you. Explain that. The user replied, sounds like coping. Jon offered, let me help. You could be my intern. The user threw all his crimes back at him. Jon ended it by saying, look at your profile picture. Note to self, real UFC fighters don't actually wear venom. Loser. Then he blocked him. Moving on to another news. Alexander Volkov shared his insight and gave his prediction for the highly anticipated matchup between Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. While the fight isn't official yet, reports strongly suggest it will likely be Tom's first title defense as interim heavyweight champion. This has the entire division buzzing, with fans eager to see if Tom can hold on to the belt against a dangerous and experienced opponent. Volkov is in a unique position to analyze this fight because he has actually faced both men inside the octagon. He fought Tom Aspinall back in 2022 and lost via submission in the first round. It was a decisive and dominant performance from Aspinall, showcasing his speed, grappling, and overall fight IQ. On the other hand, Volkov faced Cyril Gane much more recently at UFC 310 last year and lost via a very close split decision. That fight was a hard-fought battle where Gane demonstrated his elite striking, movement, and improved defense. Unlike the fight with Aspinall, it was much tighter on the scorecards and went the distance, proving that Gane's style can be incredibly difficult to deal with over multiple rounds. Speaking to MMA Junkie about this potential clash, Volkov described it as a true 50-50 fight. He didn't hold back in praising both athletes for their unique strengths. He said, I think both of them are really good. Cyril Gane, he's really good with his movement, with his legs and everything. He's very light on his feet for a heavyweight, and that's always given opponents a lot of trouble. Volkov went on to highlight how Gane isn't just a striker anymore. He's not so bad at grappling now. He actually started working a lot on his grappling and his ground skills. That's been one of the biggest changes I've seen in his game. He's more complete than he used to be. When it comes to how the fight could play out, Volkov said it depends on the details and preparation. It's really 50-50. It depends on how the fight starts, how both of them will be prepared. If Gane can stay on the outside, use his movement, and avoid takedowns, he can outpoint Tom. But if Tom can close the distance, get him to the mat, or even just land something big early, it could end quickly. Volkov also talked about Gane's motivation. I saw that Gane will be really motivated for this fight to get the belt. He's been so close before and came up short. That hunger is dangerous. Finally, Volkov offered a brutally honest assessment based on personal experience. On paper, when I fought both of them, Tom Aspinall just looked better. He was faster, more decisive, and finished me quickly. Gane was tougher to deal with over 3 rounds, but didn't put me away. But in the fight, it could go any way. Anything can happen at heavyweight. One mistake changes everything. It's a fascinating potential matchup between two of the division's most skilled and athletic fighters. Fans will be watching closely to see if it becomes official, and if it does, the build-up promises to be electric. Now moving on to another news. There's been a lot of buzz recently about the possibility that Khamzat Chimaev could retire from MMA after UFC 319 if he defeats Darkus du Plessis and becomes the new UFC middleweight champion. These rumors have really picked up steam, raising eyebrows all over the fight world, with fans debating if there's any truth to them. The speculation started after fellow UFC fighter Caio Borralho publicly discussed what he'd been hearing behind the scenes. In an interview, Caio revealed that he'd picked up on some whispers suggesting that Chimaev might call it quits if he gets the belt. He said, I heard somewhere some people saying that if he wins the belt, he retires. I think so. There are little talks, some whispers. If he wins the belt, he retires. His tone wasn't definitive, but you could tell he was taking it seriously enough to share with the MMA media. Caio was quick to admit he's not completely sure how much weight these rumors actually carry. You know, I'm not sure if I believe that or not, but it's an option. That honesty added another layer of intrigue. He wasn't just spreading gossip, he was trying to process it himself, recognizing there might be reasons Chimaev would even consider walking away while at the very top. He went on to explain why these rumors make some sense. Kano said, there's too much pressure on him. He had health problems. A lot of pressure from his country. That's a significant point. Khamzat has famously battled serious health issues, including complications from COVID-19 that once pushed him to the brink of retirement before. At the time, he even announced he was done fighting in a now infamous social media post, only to come back later with renewed focus. According to Kayo, the stress might just be too much long-term. Even if Khamzat seems unstoppable in the cage, he's human outside of it. The expectations from his country, fans, and the UFC itself are enormous, and they could be taking a real toll. Kayo also pointed out the financial side of the equation. He has a lot of money already. Like a lot of money. He's good with money. That's an important part of the story. For some fighters, chasing the belt is about securing their financial future. But if Chimaev already has that locked down, what's the incentive to keep putting himself through brutal training camps, weight cuts, and the risks of fighting? He will already be the champion, so why not retire? I would do the same, Kayo added. It's a perspective a lot of fans might understand, even if they'd be disappointed to see such a dominant force leave the sport so soon. For now, these are just rumors, nothing confirmed by Chimaev himself, but they're enough to spark real debate about what his legacy might look like, and whether he's fighting purely for glory or something more personal. Fans will be watching UFC 319 even more closely, wondering if it might be Khamzat Chimaev's last ride inside the octagon. Now moving on to another news, Conor McGregor has once again teased his potential return, this time hinting he could be part of the massive UFC White House event that's been making headlines. When asked about his fighting future, McGregor made it clear he's not quite done yet, but he wants to do it on his own terms. He said, "I do like to tell I'm in this until I can clear my slate. It's looking like I'm headed to the Oval Office again. So that's where I'm heading next. But I'll let these men fight for this one and I'll support them and back them all the way." It's classic McGregor cryptic but undeniably intriguing. While he's not outright confirming about, he's hinting hard at being involved in this historic event, which would be the UFC's first ever at the White House. Fans are now speculating about whether this could be the big motivation he needs to finally step back into the octagon. Meanwhile, Jon Jones is also making headlines with his own thoughts on the White House card. Jones says he's found a new reason to fight, something that actually means more to him than money. Late Thursday night, Jones replied to a fan on X who tweeted about the White House event, calling it going to be the most epic fight in history. Jones responded, "It would be for me. It's about the opportunity to represent America at the White House. I don't care who I fight that night. I found my reason why. That's what I needed, something that was more than money." According to Jones, he was so fired up about the idea that he contacted the UFC the very same day he heard the news. He tweeted, "Donald made his announcement on the morning of the 4th of July. I called the UFC headquarters that very same afternoon. I'll just leave it at that. America, now that tickles my pickle." When one fan pressed him, asking directly if he was going to fight, Jones replied, "Who knows what the future holds?" But he admitted that the moment he heard Trump's announcement, he got right back into training mode. That in itself sent fans into a frenzy, speculating that we might finally see Jones take on Tom Aspinall or headline this once-in-a-lifetime card. However, not everyone is impressed with Jones's approach. Renowned MMA coach and analyst Dean Thomas didn't hold back when giving his take on Jones's social media teases. Speaking on Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel, Thomas vented his frustration. He said, "My initial thought when I heard this was that this dude just loves attention. He loves attention. He's just trying to keep his name out there, and he loves attention. He's dangling his status over our heads, and I hate it. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a damn if Jon Jones ever fights again. I don't care, man. He's the greatest to ever do it for sure. He's great. He's super great. But I don't care if he ever fights again. Just ride off into the sunset." He added, "You know who I care about? I care about Ilia Topuria, Dustin Poirier, the dudes that are out there putting their lives on the line for us. I care about those dudes. Jon Jones, I don't care if he fights again." The division among fans and analysts is clear. Some want to see Jones return in historic fashion, while others are ready for him to finally step away and let the next generation of fighters shine. And moving on to another news, Dana White has revealed some truly exciting details about the highly anticipated UFC event planned for the White House. The UFC CEO recently sat down on the Full Send podcast, where he talked at length about the ambitious vision for this historic card, promising fans that it's going to be the baddest UFC event of all time. Dana didn't hold back on hyping the show, saying that they're absolutely committed to making this one of the most unforgettable nights in combat sports history. He shared his personal dream main event for the event, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. While it's not yet set in stone, that matchup is looking more and more like a real possibility, especially after Dana confirmed that Jones has officially ended his retirement by rejoining the UFC's drug testing pool. That move alone has sent fans into a frenzy, with speculation running wild that Jones is truly serious about making his long-awaited comeback. But that's not the only blockbuster possibility for this card. Dana also teased that Conor McGregor may appear on the lineup as well. He noted that even though McGregor hasn't fought for a while, the announcement of this White House event seems to have reignited the Irish superstar's competitive fire. According to Dana, when the news broke about the White House show, Conor was immediately back in the gym, recording voice messages for his team saying, "Guys, I'm dialed, I'm ready for this." Dana painted a vivid picture of the planned setup for the card, describing just how visually spectacular and unique it will be. He explained, "While the fight is happening and we're filming, one whole side of the backdrop will be the White House and the other side will be the Washington Monument. Just imagine that. Two of the most iconic American landmarks framing what could be the biggest fights in UFC history." When asked about the level of interest from fighters wanting to compete on the White House card, Dana laughed and replied, "Everybody wants to fight. That's what I was going to ask you. Everybody wants it. Everybody." He didn't mince words about the UFC's intentions, adding, "We will absolutely positively put on the baddest card of all time." He also addressed the speculation around Jones, saying, "I saw Jones. We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back? You jumped back in the pool, so really officially. Oh yeah, literally everybody wants to fight on this card. It makes it a lot more fun." And of course, there's the mouth-watering possibility of having both McGregor and Jones fighting on the same card, something fans have dreamed about for years. Dana didn't rule it out at all, teasing, "Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card? Could be." It's clear from Dana's enthusiasm that the UFC is going all in on making this White House event a truly landmark moment, not just for the promotion but for the entire sport of mixed martial arts.